The Galactic Goofmobile hummed quietly in its hangar, a gentle vibration running through the deck plates as if the ship itself was purring in anticipation of its next adventure. The hangar was alive with activity. Technicians in sleek uniforms zipped by, checking readouts and calibrating tools, while robotic arms whirred overhead, performing last-minute diagnostics. The Goofmobile, with its unmistakable silhouette and quirky custom paint job, stood out even among the most advanced vessels docked nearby. Its freshly upgraded hull gleamed from the Mishara 5 overhaul, the new alloy catching the light in dazzling patterns. The ship's surface was now reinforced with a lattice of nanofibers, promising both resilience and style. Every inch of the Goofmobile's exterior seemed to radiate a sense of readiness, as if daring the cosmos to throw its worst at them. The overhaul had taken weeks, but the results were worth every sleepless night and every credit spent. Inside, Leah lounged on the control couch, her boots propped up on the console, tossing a rubber ball for Boudreaux. The little robot dog zipped around the cockpit with his jetpack, yapping gleefully as he performed mid-air flips and chased the ball with boundless energy. Leah grinned, her laughter echoing off the polished metal walls. She'd spent countless hours in this cockpit, but it never felt more like home than when Boudreaux was there, filling the space with his infectious joy. Bastien, the grumpy French bulldog, sprawled nearby, his battlesuit powered down, snoring with a dignity only he could muster. Even in sleep, his brow furrowed, as if he were dreaming of heroic deeds, or perhaps just a particularly stubborn chew toy. The soft hum of his suit's cooling system blended with his rhythmic snores, creating a strangely comforting soundtrack to the otherwise high-tech environment. At the navigation console, Hudson was deep in concentration, tinkering with a gadget that looked like it belonged in a mad scientist's lab. He muttered to himself about optimizing the ship's new cosmic cannons, occasionally pausing to scribble notes on a digital pad or adjust a glowing dial. His dedication to squeezing every ounce of performance from the Goofmobile was legendary among the crew, and today was no exception. Sparks flew, circuits blinked, and Hudson's brow glistened with the thrill of invention. The crew had been through a lot together, especially after the chaos of the Shadow War. Now, as they gathered in the lounge, the tension of past battles seemed to melt away. "We've earned a break after that Shadow War mess, right, Hud?" Leah called out, her voice warm with relief and camaraderie. Hudson just grinned, tools in hand, and the Goofmobile's crew settled in, ready for whatever the galaxy had in store next. Before Hudson could answer, the penguin crystal, perched on its pedestal in the cosmic curio cabinet, began to pulse with an eerie blue light. The cabinet doors creaked open, and a holographic map projected into the air, shimmering with golden lines and strange runes. "Uh-oh!" Bastien's eyes snapped open, a low growl rumbling. Boudreaux skidded to a halt, tilting his head at the display. "Is that a forge? Like a cosmic blacksmith shop?" The map showed a sprawling structure floating in a nebula, labeled in an ancient script that pulsed like a heartbeat. The penguin crystal's glow intensified, and a voice, deep, resonant, and slightly crackly, echoed through the ship. "Seek the celestial forge, the artifact's truth awaits." "Truth? What truth?" Bastien snorted, as if to say, "Here we go again." Boudreaux barked, wagging his tail furiously. "This isn't just a map, it's a history lesson. These runes suggest the artifacts, our curio cabinet goodies, were made by some ancient race called the Celestials to keep the universe balanced, but something's gone wonky." "Wonky how?" The hologram shifted, showing fractured dimensions overlapping, stars merging with voids, planets splitting apart, a convergence. If this keeps up, reality might collapse, and the Void Collective, rogue Celestials, are behind it, using the artifacts as keys. Before Leah could really process what was happening, the Goofmobile's alarm suddenly blared. Hudson shouted, "Incoming!" and quickly pulled up a view screen. Dark, sleek ships, Void Collective scouts, were descending from the nebula, their hulls glinting with this really unnatural sheen. Leah exclaimed, "They must have tracked the crystal signal." Without hesitating, she grabbed her hollow blaster, Bastien's suit whirred to life, and Boudreaux's visor lit up. Leah caught. The Goofmobile lurched violently as Leah slammed her palm onto the thruster controls, sending the ship rocketing out of the hangar with a jolt that pressed everyone back into their seats. The engines roared to life, blue plasma flaring in the rear view as the ship shot forward, leaving behind the chaos and flickering lights of the hangar bay. Leah's hands danced over the controls, her eyes flicking between the navigation display and the rapidly approaching void of open space. The crew barely had time to strap in before the ship was already weaving through the first wave of enemy fire. Suddenly, a barrage of energy blasts streaked past the Goofmobile, painting the cockpit with flashes of electric blue and violet. Void ships, sleek and menacing, had already locked onto their escape route. One blast sizzled across the hull, sending a shudder through the ship and leaving a glowing scar along the side. The sound of the impact echoed through the metal frame, a sizzling crack that made everyone flinch. Sparks danced across the control panels, and warning lights flickered to life. But Leah kept her focus razor sharp. Leah shouted, "Hold on!" as she yanked the controls to the left, banking the ship in a stomach-churning arc. The Goofmobile spun hard, dodging another volley of enemy fire by mere meters. Gravity shifted and the crew gripped their seats as the stars outside blurred into streaks. Leah's knuckles whitened on the yoke, her jaw set with determination. The ship's inertial dampeners whined, struggling to keep up with her wild maneuvers. In the gunner's seat, Bastien wasted no time. He swiveled the mini cannons into position, targeting the nearest scout ship. With a grin, he squeezed the triggers, unleashing a rapid-fire barrage of plasma bolts. The cannons spat sparks and light, peppering the enemy scout with a dazzling spray. The enemy ship's shields flickered, then failed, sending it spinning out of formation. Bastien whooped, adrenaline surging as he lined up his next shot. Meanwhile, in the back of the cockpit, Boudreaux hunched over his console, fingers flying across the holographic interface. He tapped into the enemy comms, a mischievous glint in his eye. With a few deft keystrokes, he injected a garbled clown honk into the void ship's communication systems. A little leftover trick from the Great Cosmic Carnival, when pranks were a matter of intergalactic pride. The sound echoed through the enemy fleet, causing confusion and chaos as their pilots scrambled to make sense of the bizarre interference. Boudreaux chuckled, satisfied with the disruption. The effect was immediate. The Void Scouts faltered, their formations breaking apart as pilots struggled to regain control. Some ships spun wildly, others veered off course, and a few even collided in their confusion. The Goofmobile's crew watched as the enemy's tight pursuit dissolved into a chaotic mess, buying them precious seconds. Hudson, eyes wide with excitement, saw his chance. Hudson didn't hesitate. He slammed his fist onto the weapons console, activating the ship's brand new cannons. "Eat this!" he yelled, a wild grin spreading across his face. The Goofmobile's cannons unleashed a dazzling burst of energy, lighting up the void with a spectacular display. Two enemy ships were caught in the blast, scattering in all directions. The crew cheered, their spirits soaring as they realized they just might make it out alive, at least for now. Leah weaved through asteroid debris, and honestly, the Goofmobile's agility really shined. She said, "We need that forge info!" glancing at the fading hologram. Suddenly, a Void leader's voice crackled over the comms. "Surrender the crystal or be erased!" Bastien growled and fired again, while Boudreaux jammed their weapons. Leah spotted an escape vector, a wormhole flickering just ahead. She called out, "Full speed, Goofmobile!" The ship surged forward, engines roaring as the hull vibrated with the force of their escape. Outside, the swirling colors of the wormhole twisted and danced, a kaleidoscope of cosmic energy, threatening to tear the Goofmobile apart. Leah gripped the controls, knuckles white, as Bastien barked orders, and Hudson monitored the rapidly fluctuating power levels. The ship shuddered, alarms blaring, and for a moment it felt as if time itself stretched and warped around them. Then, with a sudden lurch, the wormhole swallowed them whole, plunging the crew into a tunnel of light and shadow where up and down lost all meaning. Just as a void blast singed the tail, sending a shower of sparks through the rear compartment, the Goofmobile tumbled out of the wormhole. They spun wildly, stars and nebulae blurring past the viewport until Leah managed to steady the ship. Outside, a breathtaking nebula glowed with vibrant colors, violet, gold, and emerald swirling together in a cosmic ballet. The crew barely had time to catch their breath as the aftershock of the blast rattled the hull, but they had made it. For now they were safe, hidden in the shadow of the nebula's radiant clouds, the threat of pursuit momentarily left behind. Inside, the bridge was a flurry of activity. The holographic map flickered, struggling to recalibrate after the violent jump. Static danced across the display, but slowly the image resolved, coordinates glowing in the center, marking the location of the legendary Celestial Forge. Leah let out a shaky breath, her relief palpable. "Whew, that was close," she panted, slumping back in her seat, sweat beading on her brow. Hudson scanned the sensors, his voice steady but tense. "No pursuit yet, but don't get comfortable. They'll be back, and probably with reinforcements." The crew exchanged glances, the weight of their narrow escape settling in. The tension in the air slowly eased as Bastien huffed, settling down in his chair, his eyes never leaving the main display. Boudreaux, their loyal animal companion, limped over to Leah, licking a singed paw but otherwise unharmed. Leah reached down, offering a reassuring scratch behind his ears. On the console, the penguin-shaped crystal artifact, once pulsing with energy, now glowed dimly but steadily as if recovering from the ordeal. "That forge holds answers," Leah mused aloud, her gaze fixed on the artifact. "And probably more trouble than we bargained for." The crew chuckled, the shared humor a balm after the chaos. Gathering her crew around, Leah's eyes sparkled with determination. "The artifact's truth, huh? Guess we're not done collecting yet." She grinned, her confidence infectious. Bastien straightened, his earlier fatigue replaced by resolve. Hudson nodded, already plotting their next move, while Boudreaux curled up contentedly at Leah's feet. The Goofmobile's crew, battered but unbroken, shared a moment of camaraderie, united by the mysteries ahead and the dangers they'd already faced. Each of them knew the journey was far from over, but together they felt ready for whatever the Celestial Forge might hold. As the Goofmobile's engines hummed back to life, the ship angled toward the luminous nebula, its lights flickering with renewed purpose. The vast expanse of space stretched before them, filled with both promise and peril. Leah's voice rang out, steady and bold. "Next stop, Celestial Forge. Ready for round 2? The crew answered with a chorus of cheers and determined nods. The Goofmobile seemed to respond as well, its systems pulsing in harmony with their resolve. Ahead, the nebula loomed, mysterious and inviting, as the crew set their sights on the secrets waiting to be uncovered. Their adventure was only just beginning.